The greatest mistake we make is treating life itself like a temporary state of negative space, waiting for some grand improvement to finally make it substantial enough. We only seem capable of appreciating things when they are lacking, always measuring our present existence against an imagined future abundance or a forgotten past peak. The comfort of the now feels inherently provisional, a pause between moments that matter more. We spend so much time drafting narratives of what we should be doing, who we should become, and where we ought to go. This constant deferral suggests a fundamental misunderstanding of value. We assume that happiness is not merely an arrival point, a destination achieved after enough work or wealth, but rather a quality rooted in the immediate moment. If this assumption is wrong, if true contentment requires no external supplement, then understanding how to inhabit the life already present becomes the hardest philosophical task of all. The ancient Stoics understood this requirement well, particularly Epictetus and Marcus Aurelius. They taught us that much of our distress comes not from events themselves, but from our judgments about those events. We suffer more in imagination than in reality. Their practice was to distinguish sharply between things within our control, our thoughts, our assent, our choices, and everything outside of it. The goal was simple: to narrow the scope of concern until it fit entirely inside the self. By establishing this rigid boundary, the noise of external desire began to quiet down, revealing a bedrock stability that did not require perfect circumstances. It is a kind of inner architecture built not upon expectation, but upon acceptance. Yet, Stoicism risks becoming merely an intellectual exercise, treating emotion like a faulty mechanism requiring rational adjustment. The deeper challenge, the one few thinkers address with such clarity, is the sheer weight of impermanence. We are always chasing permanence in a fundamentally fluid reality. This is where Eastern thought offers a necessary complication. Buddhism teaches that suffering arises from attachment to what changes. It urges us to recognize all things, including our identities and our emotional states, as merely passing phenomena. The self we cling to, the successful version, the stable lover, the healthy body, is itself an illusion of continuity. This perspective dismantles the entire structure of having something fixed enough to appreciate, forcing a radical reconsideration. If nothing lasts, how can anything be valued? The solution is not simply acceptance in the passive sense. It is active engagement with what is momentary. The philosopher Heraclitus noted that everything flows, and we are always immersed in change. To truly appreciate life means becoming skilled at seeing pattern within flux. It requires a disciplined shift from viewing experience as steps toward an end state to viewing existence itself as the singular event. We stop asking how this moment contributes to our future goal, and instead ask what this specific arrangement of light, sound, and feeling is doing right now. This kind of attention, a profound attentiveness to the texture of being, is radical. It demands that we find deep value in the negligible background hums of everyday existence, the simple persistence of breathable air, or the taste of routine coffee. This disciplined focus on the present moment allows us to move beyond mere gratitude. Gratitude often implies a comparison. I am thankful for X because I lack Y. This framing keeps us tethered to deficiency. True appreciation, however, is pure affirmation, the recognition that simply existing in this arrangement of matter and time is itself enough. It is the realization that the scaffolding we built around ourselves using future promises or past glories was needlessly complex. The life you inhabit right now, with its specific flaws, mundane repetitions, and unearned graces, possesses a weight and density that cannot be found in planning, anticipation, or memory. And so, when we look back at those moments of acute desire, the sudden pang of longing for something better, they recede like ripples on a quiet stream. The ache to leave what is simply there diminishes not through escape, but through sheer weight. The present moment holds no deficit that requires filling. It is complete in its immediate lack and abundance. There is only this arrangement, this breath drawn now, the light falling here, the story unfolding word by word, like these very words. It is a grace given without condition or deadline. This acceptance, this radical acknowledgement that enoughness resides right here, is not a destination we arrive at after great struggle. It is less an achievement and more a steady act of noticing. It's realizing that our minds are often trained to view life as a series of deficits. Something missing, some improvement needed, another mountain yet to climb. We build narratives around what could be or what was, giving value not to the substance of today, but to the potential energy of tomorrow or the perfect nostalgia of yesterday. But that is a fiction. That striving for better is often just a sophisticated form of avoidance, a way to postpone the awkward, wonderful business of simply being present. If we are going to truly appreciate the life we already have, we must learn to dismantle these imagined deficits. We must train ourselves not as collectors of experiences, but as receivers of reality. This means paying attention to the unremarkable things, the specific shade of blue in the sky just before dusk, the smell of rain hitting hot asphalt, the comfortable rhythm of routine conversation with someone whose flaws you have grown fond of. These quiet moments, these unscripted gifts, are the true architecture of a meaningful life. They hold nothing extra, yet they contain everything necessary. The ability to appreciate what is already here is perhaps the most revolutionary and difficult skill we can cultivate. It requires an intentional slowing down, a refusal to let our inner critical voice convince us that the good things aren't quite enough. Remember that initial pang of longing, the desire for something more distant or grander. See how it fades now, replaced by a quiet, stable hum. That humming is the sound of sufficiency. So breathe into this moment. Let the weight of continuous striving fall away like dust. The profound understanding, the great secret we were looking for in exotic travels, major life changes, or perfect moments, is simply that it was always woven into the fabric of the day you are living right now. It is here, waiting patiently, contained entirely within this breath, this light, and this undeniable grace.